a different mood this week?
Yeah, you could say that. I think there's a lot of excitement that we're going to be able to play somebody other than ourselves finally. So really looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be a good year. We got a good game to start it off, and it's gonna be at their place. So really looking forward to this week, man. Really excited about it.
We were talking with Frank about his offseason, problems, but yours wasn't that great either, right?
No, not at all. I was telling a couple of guys, I can remember just the point in time where I couldn't even lift my arm up. It's hurt so bad, and just coming back from, I had got the surgery out in Houston, just riding back. It was miserable being back there in the back of the car. But and them 3 days afterwards, man, I'm just sitting in my room, what am I gonna do? But just remember making that conscious decision, man. Like I'm not gonna sit here and feel sorry for myself. I'm gonna get back up and do what I gotta do. And 9 months later, here we are. So I think that's just all about just the whole mental toughness part of it. Just being able to pick yourself back up out of them dark spots, and be able to excel just at whatever you're trying to do. So just staying humble and hungry right now, man. That's all I'm trying to do, and just get 1% better every day.
You've mentioned coming into this fall camp better physically and mentally than in recent seasons that you can remember. Has it made a difference going through these few weeks of workouts?
Yeah, for sure. It can definitely be tough and grueling, especially camp. Camp can be real tough just from the daily, just physical and mental grind and everything. But I feel like everything I went through this offseason is pretty much preparing me for this season. Just from, like I said, the mental aspect of it, the physical, and just having that spiritual side too, just having something to rely on and set my mind to every day can be really beneficial for me, just going through the daily grind of, having meetings and practice, and, preparing for the game and going to play in the game. So, I feel like I said, I feel like it's been really good for me, and I'm feeling really good, man. I'm excited for this season, looking forward to what's to come.
Coach Traylor told us that at some points last year, it seemed like the NFL conversation might have been weighing on you a little bit. Was that something that was kind of in your mind at different points? How did it impact you?
I feel like it could weigh on anybody. We've been playing this game for our whole lives, and that's a lot of our goals at the end of the day. So just to have that, I guess, reality that it can come true can be a lot at times. I feel like. But at the end of the day, I think it's all about just getting back to the basics, and just for me, why I started playing this game. And I've been loving this game ever since I was 6. I've been playing it for, solely off the love of the game. Not anything outside of that. And that's pretty much what I had to get back to. And I feel like that's been a big reason why I've been able to get back to feeling how I do, and just being in this state of mind. So I'm feeling good, man, and just making it all about ball, keeping the main thing, and that's all it is to it.
You went through a little earlier than Frank did, but when he was thinking about maybe being done, did he talk to you? Do you remember those conversations?
I'm not sure if he talked to me about being done. I know he definitely talked to me just about, the whole process of, the rehab and the daily aspect of it. And, man, Frank was going through it. I remember seeing him in the training room, man. He was miserable, and I could just tell, he just wasn't himself. And, that it can go for anybody going through that rehab. I know I've definitely been through it a couple of times, it can get tough. I know JT's been through it. We've had a lot of guys that had to go through, just the rehab and trying to get back right. And it can be a lot on you too, just, from the aspect of, man, you don't know if you're going to get fully healthy again. You don't know if you're going to be able to play how you want to. And, it's something that's in the back of your mind when you go out there, am I going to be able to move how I want to do and do certain movements? So, it's like that for a lot of guys, man. And I feel like that's one of the things that kind of gets overlooked, in today's world. Just they don't understand the whole entirety of everything that we go through just as student athletes, just from, that practices and, school too. So it can be a lot, man. There can be a lot of stuff that weighs on you, and it can get real tough at times.
So even as tight as you two are he never said that I'm not going to come back. I'm done, anything like that.
He never told me that, man. But I wouldn't put it past him. I know I've definitely had times where I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It can be a lot, man. And I think it's just human nature. But I think what makes us, as special and as just who we are is that we just find a way to keep on pushing through and get past that phase. 'Cause I feel like it can be like that for anyone. I'm sure y'all have been at a point in y'all life where y'all like, man, I don't know if I really want to do this anymore. It's not working out, but y'all found a way to get past that barrier, get past that wall, and keep on pushing. Y'all are where y'all want to be now. So it's just, it's just life at the end of the day. Like, I feel like we try to make it not as big as it should be, but everybody goes through it regardless of what your profession is.
It's funny to hear you say that. Jeff told us a story about at the end of fall camp there was a pool day and he said you were one of the last ones out, which is not usually something for the older guys. Is there something to that, like savoring the moment this time around?
Yeah, for sure. Just because really put it into perspective, like, this is my last go around, so I'm just trying to take it all in, man, because like I thought about it at that pool day, like this time next year I'm gonna be here being able to do that. So man, just being able to take it all into perspective and just be where my feet are, because I feel like at times with the daily grind and stuff, like we can lose sight of where we are and kind of what we talked about, like have our sights set on the future and stuff like that. But I feel like the best way to take advantage of that whole thing and really enjoy it, to enjoy the process, and trust in the process too. So man, I'm doing that every day. Even today at practice, I might get kind of frustrated at some plays and stuff like that, but I sit there, take a breath, and like, I'm just happy to be here, because this time next year it may be something totally different. So I'm just making the most of every moment.
What stands out to you about Houston? They got a different quarterback this year, but
I feel like that's probably the biggest thing that stands out to them. Just the quarterback position is always important. Frank, y'all see how important it is for Frank to be our guy, and whoever's leading their offense is going to be important too. And he's a transfer. He played against them last year, which is kind of crazy to me, but it's going to be big to see how he steps out there and how he takes control of the offense. And it's going to be interesting to see the receivers, how they go about playing, and just kind of with the offenses, how they're moving and how they're trying to move the ball. So I have an idea of how I think things will turn out. But we still got to go out there and do it, and what we may be expecting could be totally different, and same thing for them with us. So at the end of the day, we just got to go out there and play, man. And like I said, football is football, so we got to make that what it is.
How do you look back at last year's game against them?
Man, I think it was a great game. The first game can always be funny, just because like I said, you don't really know what to expect, because you're trying to watch film from last year's and they could have changed up the whole thing. But I think last year's game was real good. I think we could have capitalized in a couple of areas a little bit better, and I think it all just comes down to doing our jobs. I feel like at times we can try to go and try to make the big play and risk our job in that, and with that can lead to like a big play or something like that. So I think the biggest thing for us is going in there, doing our job, and just being about what we're about, which is the triangle, and just our culture pillars. So we gotta go in there and play our game.
There's been a lot of talk that was a game that you guys felt like you could have won and just sort of let it slip. Does that sort of thought process add anything to this year's matchup?
I feel like you can say that, but at the same time, last year is last year, this year is this year, and I feel like it's good to always have kind of a clean slate going into it. Not having our mind in the past, but being, like I said, being where our feet are, and just going there with a clear mindset and understanding what we got to go get done. And it's gonna be tough going into their place. I think it's pretty much like sold out, or almost on the brink of being sold out. So they're gonna have a lot of fans there. It's gonna be loud, and it's gonna be tough. It's always tough going on the road, and especially for the first game. So we just got to go do what we got to do, man, and just stick to our brand of football.
thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Rashad.
I appreciate it. Y'all going.